bit chilly, but not too bad. I'm pretty well equipped with my space. This is where I feel happier and what's better for me, and I'm sort of choosing that, I guess.
Absolutely. I felt more of a sense of family down here with all these folks than I have with my own blood relatives.
Down at the other end, and I seen smoke and light, and came running back, and this is what I got left.
Snow day, called in sick for the little guy and went and bought sleds so that we can go sledding.
This channel documents life on North American streets, focusing on raw observation and real human experiences. January 2026 hit Vancouver hard with a brutal mix of freezing temps and non-stop rain. It was a nightmare for anyone sleeping rough. Over 5,200 people across the area felt the bite. They were stuck dealing with freezing dampness and barely any reliable help. Local numbers paint a grim picture. Homelessness in the city jumped up about 9% in just 1 year. That spike meant thousands more were forced to survive outside during the absolute worst months. When you have no roof over your head, winter is not just a nuisance. It destroys your health, slows you down, and threatens your life every day. Soaked gear, zero warmth, and scrambling for food makes getting back on your feet feel nearly impossible. Liking this video and subscribing to this channel helps shine a light on these forgotten struggles. It also sparks real talk about raising awareness and finding actual fixes. 1. What is the reality of facing this freezing cold? Back in January 2026, Vancouver saw a relentless combo of icy chill and heavy rain that made survival grueling for the unhoused. With the thermometer hovering around zero and the rain never letting up, staying dry was a fantasy. For thousands in the city, just getting through the day became a massive struggle. City protocols from late 2025 show just how dangerous near-freezing rain is, as hypothermia risks skyrocket. Meanwhile, data from early 2026 showed over 5,200 souls sleeping rough. This crisis unfolded right as housing prices smashed all-time records. These numbers prove just how many folks get trapped outside during winter in places like the Downtown Eastside. The freezing dampness did not just hurt, it paralyzed people, making even simple routines drag on forever. Getting to help centers takes ages. Lugging your stuff around becomes a torture session. Every single step requires double the energy when the weather is fighting you. Things that annoy housed people become life-altering obstacles when you cannot escape the elements. Reviews from early 2025 pointed out a major flaw: warming centers closed too early, leaving people stranded during the day. Consequently, folks are stuck outside for hours, huddling under makeshift tarps and constantly moving just to stay warm. Here on this channel, we use these moments to show the real toll winter takes on city streets. It begs the question, how long could you last if you lost your home and the cold became your roommate? Stick around until the finale to see how other North American cities are handling similar crises. If this report opens your eyes to the situation, please drop a comment, hit the like button, and subscribe to this channel to keep these important stories in the public eye. 2. Battling the endless. Soaking chill. Vancouver's winters are notorious for a specific kind of misery: damp cold. For the homeless, the high humidity and constant downpours mean their clothes and bags are perpetually waterlogged. Nothing ever dries out, which doubles the physical toll of just trying to exist outdoors. This is not a one-off problem. It is a relentless fact of life in this coastal climate. A count in 2025 by the BC Homelessness Services Association revealed shocking trends. They clocked a 9% spike in the metro area, counting 5,232 people in need. Initial data showed 1,893 people living completely unsheltered, nearly twice as many as 5 years back. These stats clarify that more residents are suffering through long-term exposure during the region's soggy winter season. In nearby spots like Delta, where reports show homelessness surging, people are changing their habits to dodge muddy swamps, moving to higher ground near highways or empty lots. The relentless wetness makes moving around, storing gear, and getting help a logistical nightmare. Basic survival tasks turn into exhausting obstacles. Studies from late 2025 confirm that staying cold and wet restricts how much people can move around, cuts them off from friends, and makes it significantly harder to function. Keeping up with daily habits is a nightmare when you have nowhere to go. When you don't have a dry, safe place to land, even a simple walk or basic hygiene takes massive effort. Yet you still see people pushing through. Folks swap tips on how to beat the freeze. turn trash into makeshift shelter, and lean on street families for news and help. Here on this channel, these narratives highlight the collision between brutal weather and having no home, molding survival tactics most people never see. Think about it. What does living in constant wet and cold do to you when your safety net vanishes? It highlights why we need better safety nets to get people out of the elements and back to security. As we go on, you'll see the same patterns playing out in cities across the states. If this opens your eyes, drop a comment, hit like, and sub to this channel to keep these stories alive. 3. Every night is a war against the cold. When the sun sets on Vancouver, the real fight begins. Staying warm isn't just comfort. It's survival during long hours of darkness where temps hover near 2 degrees Celsius. The main goal is simply blocking the freezing wind. With shelters packed, most are stuck outside with whatever scraps they can find to cover up in the city night. A 2025 headcount by the Homelessness Services Association of BC across the metro area found 1,893 people sleeping rough. That is almost double the 2020 figures, according to the data, proving that hundreds represent a growing crisis. Facing the elements totally exposed every sundown. Another 2025 report from the Canadian Observatory on Homelessness showed 3/4 of folks in these cities say they can't get warm clothes, highlighting a massive lack of resources when the temperature drops. In spots like Strathcona, you see people huddled under discarded sheets or donation handouts. Those thin layers do nothing against the wet chill, leaving people shaking as the night drags on. It is a brutal reality, teeth chattering under a porous sheet, broken sleep, holding the edges tight to stop drafts, and the loneliness of lying awake while the rest of the world dreams. It shows the harshness of life on the move, the uselessness of thin fabric, the pure exhaustion from never resting, and the quiet bond between people surviving under rags. But sometimes, a neighbor offers a spare coat or a kind word to make the ordeal bearable. On this channel, we shine a light on these twilight struggles to show that hidden resilience. Ever imagine how a single blanket would feel if you lost everything? Could it happen to anyone? It forces us to build some empathy and look out for the vulnerable when times get tough. By the end, you'll see these same struggles reflected in American cities. If this resonates, hit that like button. Subscribing to this channel ensures more voices get heard. 4. The addiction trap that is impossible to escape. In Vancouver's Downtown Eastside, getting sober feels impossible. Public use is everywhere, mirroring the area's deep addiction crisis. This district is known worldwide as a spot where drug laws are practically non-existent, with folks using right on the pavement, slumped over while commuters walk by. It is the daily routine groups gathering, in alleys or by the curb, shooting up or smoking in the open. After decades of the opioid crisis, this tragedy has become background noise. 2025 stats from the British Columbia Centre on Substance Use show over half the homeless population in the metro area link their drug use directly to losing their housing, showing how deep the problem goes. The 2025 point-in-time count backs this up, finding that addiction played a role in 28% of housing losses across Greater Vancouver, proving how dependency fuels the cycle. The government tries to help with things like the Safe Supply program, providing clean doses at supervised spots like Insight. That was North America's first legal injection site, opened back in 2003 to stop overdoses. But these efforts focus mostly on keeping people alive, creating safer spaces, without necessarily stopping the cycle that keeps people hooked and coming back, without totally severing the vicious cycle that drags users back into the habit. It is a battle that starts all over again every single morning. The urge to use takes over everything, pushing friends away and leaving you alone while you beg for help from a broken system that puts you on hold for months. Out here, people are passed out on the hard pavement, stumbling around under the influence, trapped in a cycle of getting high and crashing hard. As we document here on this channel, these harsh realities expose the heavy toll addiction takes on a human life. If one sudden disaster knocked you off your feet, could you end up in the exact same spot? It is a terrifying thought that forces us to ask what we owe each other and how stepping up together can actually fix this mess. Stick around until the very last minute, and you will see how this crisis mirrors what is happening right now in major American cities, giving you the big picture on a problem that knows no borders. If you feel for these people, hit that like button to spread the word. And subscribing to this channel ensures you never miss these vital updates. 5 reasons why everything fell apart. Under the shadow of Vancouver's glass skyscrapers and foggy mountain peaks, losing your home does not usually happen with a bang, but with small slips that turn into an avalanche, exposing just how thin the safety net really is. You do not end up here just because of one bad call. It is a mix of broken systems crushing regular folks, turning a stable life into a guessing game of where you will sleep tonight. Imagine a family in Strathcona who used to pay the bills just fine, but now they are staring at an eviction notice because prices went up and wages stayed flat. It is a nightmare happening inside quiet homes everywhere. The Homelessness Services Association of BC dropped a bombshell report in 2025 revealing that nearly half, 44% of people lost their homes simply because they could not make rent. That number proves just how fast the economy can pull the rug out from under you. Just as shocking, that same study showed that fights with landlords caused 28% of people to lose their housing, forcing them to shove their life into a backpack and leave without a plan B. Indigenous people are getting hit the hardest, making up 38% of the homeless population in Vancouver, according to 2025 data, even though they are a small part of the total population. That gap screams about the unfair history that is still stitched into the way our society works today. The collapse happens slowly, the panic of late rent, family drama, which causes 28% of homelessness, and the confusing fog of health issues, with medical problems affecting 47% of people on the street. Physical disabilities hit 24%, and mental health struggles affect a staggering 75%. These are not just cold numbers. These are real human beings walking down streets they used to know, feeling like strangers in their own city. They carry everything they own in plastic bags, hunting for a safe corner. On this channel, we dig into the root causes to show the people behind the stats. Have you ever thought about how one lost paycheck or a surprise medical bill could leave you with nothing? When you really put yourself in their place, you realize nobody is immune. That thought should wake us up to how fragile we all are and push us to build a better support system through simple kindness. Keep watching, because you are about to see stories of survival that look exactly like the struggles in US cities, proving we are all in this together. If this opens your eyes, dropping a like really helps us out. And subscribing to this channel guarantees you stay looped in on these powerful journeys. 6 ways we are fixing this: doors opening up, down the winding trails of Vancouver's waterfront and parks, where the city noise fades into silence. We are seeing glimmers of hope, new projects that act as bridges back to a normal life, focusing on respect and teamwork. These are not flashy promises, but real, ground-level work led by neighbors, helping neighbors get back on their feet. Think about the new modular housing in the Tri-Cities, which just opened its doors in January 2026. Offering 20 warm beds funded by the province to get people out of the freezing cold. According to BC Gov News, this is a direct answer to the desperate need growing in Coquitlam. It is part of a bigger movement called Reaching Home, which is pouring money into 20 different towns across Canada. And it is working. 8 of those towns have already cut homelessness by 25%. That is a solid win from the federal government, showing that when we spend money in the right places, we can actually change lives. Vancouver is making big moves with a 3-year plan running from 2024 to 2026, laying out 50 solid steps to build welcoming neighborhoods. We're talking about flipping properties fast, turning buildings into homes, and adding over 500 beds through their rapid response program. According to housing stats, that represents hundreds of people who finally get the relief of locking their own door at night. But getting there is a grind. Waiting lists are long, and the application paperwork is a total headache. It's that shaky middle ground where you're trying to get back on your feet while everything feels temporary. But when those doors finally open, the relief is instant. Having a safe space to heal is a game changer. It gives people a chance to learn new skills, meet others, and find that spark of community again. Here on this channel, we showcase these journeys to prove that turning things around is possible. Imagine if you were in those shoes, wouldn't having accessible support mean the world to you? It's a gentle wake-up call about our place in the bigger picture. Helping out and paying attention makes the whole community stronger. Stay with us until the end to see the full impact. Happening in spots like this, mirroring the hard work reshaping towns across America. If you're finding this inspiring, hit like and subscribe to this channel to follow more of these powerful transformation stories. Number 7, hoping for a little kindness. All across Vancouver, from busy warming centers to quiet outreach spots, there's a silent wish for awareness and gentleness. It's about really seeing the human being behind the struggle of homelessness. This is a call for empathy in our daily lives, replacing judgment with understanding. Simple gestures of respect build bridges and give people their dignity back. Indigenous-led groups in Metro Vancouver are stepping up to fix a major imbalance. Since Indigenous people make up 38% of the homeless population, despite being a much smaller slice of the city overall. That's according to the 2025 count from the local Homelessness Association. It's a gap that forces us to look at the history that got us here. They surveyed over 5,232 people across 16 areas, showing just how many folks are pushed to the streets annually. Imagine living out of a backpack, constantly moving, and feeling invisible in a crowded city. The Union Gospel Mission is busy too, with their 2025 efforts, helping 1,500 people get meals and gear, proving that these numbers represent real lives changed by programs that actually give a damn about easing the load. During the annual Action Week, city records show thousands of people getting involved, creating spaces where voices are heard and people don't feel quite so alone. The struggle is in the details, the ache of hauling your life down a sidewalk. It's the exhaustion of surviving without a home base and just craving a moment of kindness to feel human again. These stories show just how brutal it is to navigate life without a front door, never knowing where you'll sleep, fighting for basics, and missing the security of a routine. On this channel, we see this plea for gentleness as a chance to pause. Could a few bad breaks put you in a position where you needed that same help? It reminds us that nobody is immune. That realization wakes us up. Society thrives when we look out for each other and lift everyone up. As we get ready to wrap this up, stick around to see how these compassionate approaches are echoing across communities in the US too. If this touched a nerve, please like the video to show your support, and subscribe to this channel so we can keep exploring these deep human stories together. Number 8, conclusion. The end. But not really. Vancouver's story is complex, and finishing this video doesn't mean the work is done. Instead, it's an invite to keep the conversation going, because fixing homelessness is an ongoing mission that needs every single one of us working together to solve. This final takeaway weaves together the grit witnessed across every neighborhood, showing how individual battles help build a bigger picture of compassion and action in a city fighting for fairness. Fresh data from early 2026 reveals the massive scale of the crisis, with over 5,200 souls sleeping rough in Metro Vancouver amid sky-high housing costs. As analyzed right here on this channel, it is a staggering number that just keeps growing, with hundreds more pushed into instability every single month, signaling a desperate need for help in the Tri-Cities, including Coquitlam, Port Coquitlam, and Port Moody. The count in 2025 exposed a 38% jump to 168 people, according to the Homelessness Services Association of BC, a spike proving that suburban growth often leaves the vulnerable behind. On top of that, national figures from CanAge in 2025 showed seniors seeking shelter climbed by nearly 47% since 2021, a shocking escalation pointing to the urgent needs of our aging population. But these aren't just cold statistics on a page. They represent the breathing realities of people from all walks of life forced onto the pavement where survival means guarding a few bags, the mental toll of a shattered life, and the exhausting chase for a stability that feels miles away. The struggle gets exponentially harder without a front door, facing unpredictable deadiments, the silent grief of lost routines, and the nightmare of finding consistent help when your ground keeps shifting. Yet, there are glimmers of hope through adaptive efforts like the Better Together pilot in Vancouver, bringing locals together to solve problems, involving hundreds yearly, and fostering spaces where rebuilding starts with dignity. Here on this channel, we wrap up with a focus on potential, urging you to think about the human connections involved. Have you ever thought about how one bad break could leave you needing that open door? Realizing it is possible for anyone, that realization sparks a shared duty where our society gets tougher by building safety nets that respect every journey. We really appreciate you staying with us until the end. Through this lens, we better understand the struggles our communities face, mirroring those in towns across America. If this message resonated with you, hitting like helps spread the word, and subscribing to this channel keeps you plugged in for the next chapter of these vital human stories. Stories keeps you plugged in for the next chapter of these vital human stories.